Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Addo Aesthetics, the #1 coaching company for spa industry professionals wanting to step into the role of spa CEO. And today we are rounding out our spa software series with another software option that is absolutely worth checking out, Boulevard. I'm joined by Skya Jones, who fills such an interesting and unique position in the company. And it was really wonderful learning about the capabilities that this software is bringing into our industry. Let me do a quick read of Skya's bio, and then we will jump right into that interview. Skya Jones is a MedSpa Education Manager and in-house aesthetics expert at Boulevard, where she works directly with the company's staff and MedSpa customers to help design memorable client experiences. Jones has more than 7 years of experience in the beauty industry with a specific focus on medical aesthetics and more than 5 years experience in MedSpa leadership and management. Prior to joining Boulevard, Jones was the department lead for Bobby Bullock Medical Aesthetics and handpicked as a national trainer for the Allergan Medical Institute. A certified nurse assistant, her career includes stints as a manager at Vita Novu, a beauty advisor for Kohl's, and spans both clinical and business operations. She really is just so well-spoken, so sharp, and I really enjoyed this interview. I hope you do as well. All right, Skya, welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm so excited to have you here representing Boulevard as a part of our spa software series. This is so valuable to our listeners to really understand what sets all of these softwares apart and help them make the decision that is right for them. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited, and thank you for having me. And we're excited. Definitely Boulevard's excited to help all of our amazing customers in this industry be able to make the best decision when it comes to their tech stack. So I'm excited to dive in.
So before we hit record, you were telling me a little bit about what your role is at Boulevard. Share that, because I think just that in itself, that position even exists, is something that's really cool about your company.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is unique, and honestly, one of the reasons why I chose to leave managing med spas to move into the tech industry. But my role at Boulevard is an education manager with a focus on med spas. So really what that means is I'm a liaison between our customers and our software team, our tech team, really helping build an intentional product that is effective for our customers and also ensure that our customers can use everything to the best possible way. So making sure they're getting the best ROI on our software as possible. They're understanding how to utilize all the features like marketing, online scheduling, everything to their best ability. Because what I found is really with softwares I've used a ton throughout managing med spas, and really until I started at Boulevard, I never fully understood how to use any tech that I had because there really wasn't any resources for that. So honestly, I saw a need, and it just really excited me when I saw that with Boulevard.
And I feel, I have felt personally, I think they're getting a lot better, tech companies in the aesthetics industry in general. But when I started in spa, it was back in 2006, there were just a handful of software companies. They didn't do any type of marketing support. You barely could get your reports. It was just like scheduling, and the closeout, it was just these very basic things. And as our world has grown and changed and evolved, and the type of marketing, I mean, word of mouth marketing is so different than it was before. And the email marketing and the social media marketing and integrating all of these different things, you need a software that can help and grow and evolve. And I feel like the aesthetic industry in general, the websites and the software has been a little bit behind the times.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, we're the aesthetic industry. We should be looking beautiful, not like our website or something was built in 1990,
Exactly. No, it's such an underserved vertical in the tech realm. And I think it's because we were just newer, but we're also the aesthetic industry is vastly growing. It's booming and it's growing very fast. And I think some of the things that we utilize have just not followed that fast growth path. I think we're definitely getting closer and things are definitely becoming more our speed, but that's one of the other things that I appreciated about Boulevard is I didn't feel like I was booking at a 1999 dermatology office when I was going through and looking at the online booking flow. I was like, okay, this is actually a high-end aesthetic look and feel. This can match what customers need in their branding. So spot on there.
So tell me a little bit about who Boulevard serves. Who are they for?
Yeah. So Boulevard is really built for appointment-based self-care or beauty businesses. We work best with med spas who have, I would say, 2 to 3 providers or more. We definitely can work for 1 to 2 providers, but we have a lot of features that kind of streamline management, such as marketing management and automation with a bunch of different pay structures and pay facilitation. So really like a mid-sized med spa is what I generally say. There's a lot of features, though, that we've worked with plastic surgeons' offices. We've worked with IV clinics. So we definitely can kind of fit a number of businesses. But I always tell people it's really built to support business growth. So anyone looking to grow their business, which I think is anyone who's an owner of a business, it's a good fit for.
Tell me about some of the features that you think makes your software unique, makes it stand out. I know you said there's marketing, but like, tell me like details of these features they're nice and easy to use.
Yeah. So I think the biggest one that sticks out to me coming from not only like a med spa management background, but a service provider background is the way that the online booking works. So the way that our online scheduling was built was actually to be integrated into our customer's website. So instead of taking the online scheduling customer to a third-party landing page, we're keeping them on the business's website with just an integrated widget that's branded. It's going to match their look and feel. And it also is going to do something on the back end called smart scheduling. So we're going to alleviate those awkward gaps of unbookable time by kind of anchoring appointments together. That was a standout for me because when I did cool sculpting, there was nothing worse than having a 9 a.m. and then like a 1 p.m. You want it all anchored together so you can get as many appointments in the day as possible. So that's definitely, to this day, that's one of my favorite call out features. But after that, I mean, there's so many things we do to automate and streamline with our marketing. We offer automated campaigns. So businesses can build the email campaigns to look how they like, match their aesthetic, put in their own imagery. And then Boulevard's going to kind of do the heavy lifting of choosing which clients to target with those emails. So kind of takes the long-term lift out of it and does the heavy work for the customer.
So Boulevard is segmenting automatically. So based on services or amount spent, is that?
Yeah. So it bases it on a couple parameters like likelihood to book through an online email or through an email. And then things like how long has it been since they've been in? Do they normally come in frequently and now they haven't come in? Are they a lost client? Have they not been in for a certain amount of time? And we allow business to customize those parameters. So for example, with injectables and Botox, generally, if someone hasn't come in between 90 and 120 days, we want to nudge them to book again, right, for their next treatment. So having campaigns like that we can automate so the business isn't having to say, okay, let me go in and pull all my clients who haven't been in for 3 months and send them a reminder to book for their Botox. We do have manual email sends. So for one-time blasts is what we call them. If they have like a product special, or let's say they're bringing in a new service and they want to blast to their customer base, they can definitely do that. But the automated campaigns is definitely where our businesses get excited because they're like, great, I don't have to handle that.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. That's huge. What about landing page capability where if you're building your email list of people that are not yet clients, if you're doing digital marketing or anything like that, is there any capability for that?
Yeah. So we aren't a direct CRM. So we classify ourselves more as a client experience platform. So
Mm-hmm.
we compare really beautifully with a CRM, but what our businesses do that want to do landing pages is they can actually deep link to our booking widget. So customers that land on that landing page can actually schedule right there or purchase a package, a membership right there. They're not having to go through and wait for someone to reach out to them. They can actually take that action right there on the landing page, which has been huge. It's definitely a call out that a lot of our businesses enjoy.
But if they're building, say they're doing like download this coupon for $20 off your next hydrofacial or some whatever the offer is.
Yeah.
And then you're sending them an email nurture sequence. You would do that with a separate CRM and then export the list and put it in.
Yeah,
Boulevard?
generally. Yeah. And we can even use third-party platforms like Zapier to do like a Band-Aid integration where let's say your CRM gets a new lead in, that pulls it into Boulevard. So there's a couple different ways to go about it. But with Boulevard, we'll basically start that nurture sequence or start those automated campaigns once they get created as a client profile. So whether that's them purchasing something in store, buying something online, coming in for an appointment, those are kind of the triggers that will start that sort of sequence.
You do have the capability to connect and integrate with other, if someone's using a MailChimp, a ConvertKit, an ActiveCampaign, something along those lines.
Yeah. So we have open APIs, which makes it really nice. So we can actually use Zapier to do a lot of different functionality. So as long as another platform's on Zapier and the triggers and actions are lining up for the sequence that you want, it's a great way to automate things. I know a lot of our businesses do that with Klaviyo. So that's a pretty common one that we hear for things like SMS marketing or certain products that we may not currently offer. So definitely a good option for anyone that wants a robust tech stack like that.
Well, that brings me into my next question. With Klaviyo, a lot of people are using that with Shopify. So tell me about the online store. Do you have any type of online sales, or are you connecting directly to Shopify?
Yeah, great question. We actually have a direct integration with Shopify. So we love Shopify. I love it. I recommend it for every business that I work with that wants to increase retail sales. So we have a direct integration. So everything will be synced up, which makes it really nice. We also have the ability to sell packages and memberships through our online booking widget. So they can advertise things like, hey, you want to buy a series of 3 hydrofacials, or let's say a monthly hydrofacial membership. They can purchase that directly while they're actually scheduling their appointment and going through that online scheduling flow, which really streamlines for businesses.
Okay. So tell me about any type of training or support that you guys provide when someone is switching over to your software and what that looks like of switching from one booking software into yours.
Yeah. So that's actually one of our core company missions, is to have the best customer service and the best onboarding process as possible. So we have all in-house support. So when someone actually onboards with Boulevard, they get full access to Boulevard Academy, which is basically curated videos and webinars that my team has made. So they can learn on their own time at their own pace. They'll also have the support of an onboarding coach or onboarding specialist, which I love. And it's kind of like their one-on-one mentor of how can we get you on Boulevard using it as efficiently as possible, as quick as possible. So it's really nice to have that point of contact. And it's almost like the relationship that you build with maybe your Allergan or your MERS rep, where they're calling, they're asking, what do you need? What can I help you with? How are you doing? What can we support your business by doing? So I love that type of relationship. I think it's super beneficial in our industry to have. And then you also have access to my team. So that's one of the biggest things, is the education education team is providing that industry knowledge to the rest of our Boulevard team. So everyone understands, what is Botox? How is it inventoried? How does a hydrofacial inventory system work? So everyone understands that lingo and is more understanding of our customer and what they need. So I feel like that makes a really big difference with that onboarding process. I've worked with tech in the past where customer support's maybe been outsourced overseas or maybe isn't in-house, and you can definitely feel a change in the level and quality of care you get with that.
So talk to me about inventory management within the software. I know a lot of softwares that integrate with Shopify will keep the inventory in Shopify so that you're keeping track of the online store and, people that purchase in person. Do you guys do that, or do you have your own inventory management?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. So we have our own inventory system when used with Shopify. That's a two-way sync. So if someone purchases something online, it will update in Boulevard. If someone purchases in Boulevard, it will update in Shopify. So really either way, there's functionality there. With Boulevard, we have real-time inventory updates. So you can do your purchase orders through there. Let's say you're ordering all your supplies from maybe Skin Medica or Zio, and you receive all those in. You can actually just automatically receive stock, have everything automatically updated. So really the goal is to streamline it so you're not going in and making a bunch of manual adjustments one product at a time. And then everything like services can be tied to an inventory product. So let's say I'm doing lip filler as my service and I use like I use a Juvederm Ultra Plus, and maybe I want to mark out the cannula as well. We can keep track of all of that.
When I was looking at your video, there you have a little like 3-minute video on the website that kind of shows some of the features of your software. Mm-hmm. And there was something that I thought was really interesting with the rebook, where when you're checking somebody out, and then it would have like 2, 4, 7, or 8, or like something along like when you book your next appointment. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So our goal with Boulevard is really to increase ROI. So actually to, get something out of the software that you're paying for and increase those KPIs like pre-booking percentage. So we have a feature, it's a pre-book button, so you can customize it to your business's needs. So, if you want to do 8, 10, 12 weeks, whatever parameter works best for the business, directly in the checkout process, you can actually click on whatever time frame you're looking at, and it's going to automatically drop that appointment on that day, show you what's available, and you can pre-book with one click. So it's going to drive the front desk or whoever's checking out that client to make sure, okay, let's get your next appointment on the books. And then that's a trackable parameter for kind of keeping track of your KPIs as a business, as a whole, also on a service provider level. We also have a couple of other features in the checkout window that are pretty cool, like previous purchases, suggested products. So really subconsciously, we're prompting people to ask for that upsell by showing those and highlighting, hey, this customer bought maybe this face wash or this SPF 3 months ago. They're probably due for another one. So the goal is to get that pre-booking and get that retail upsell in a way that's meaningful.
So I want to talk about, before we get into the reports, because that's always my favorite part, tell me about the client experience when they're checking in, when they're like, just what is their experience checking in, booking, gratuities, all of that?
Yeah, it's actually really amazing, the check-in process that we've made. So we actually have a application that our businesses use. It's the Boulevard Duo app. They set that up on a client-facing iPad up at the front, and that's going to facilitate check-in and check-out. So it's super streamlined. A customer walks in the front door, they type in their phone number or their email. It'll check to see if they have any intake forms, consent forms tied to that they haven't completed yet. If so, they can walk through, fill those out. Once they're ready to be checked in and completed, the system's going to automatically check them in, notify their service provider that they're ready. And it can actually be like a contactless check-in process. So if you're short-staffed at the front desk or maybe reducing front desk hours, it's a really good way to still have a great client experience. So that streamlines the check-in process. They'll receive their treatment, their service, and then in checkout, they'll actually be prompted on that client-facing iPad for gratuity. So it's a silent gratuity, which is really nice. And then they'll be able to sign for their services or sign for their receipt. It's also going to allow them to charge the card on file. So when they book online, we'll take a card on file as a payback. We can make sure it's a valid card. So for someone who's super busy and they're like, hey, I just got to run the card on file, it's all good to go. You can do it that way as well.
Wonderful. Okay. So talk to me about your reporting. I'd love to know the types of reports that you guys have. And also, I know you briefly mentioned membership. Talk to me about membership and membership reporting as well.
Yeah, we have a really great reports functionality. So we have two separate sections within the system. We have our classic reports, which are going to be kind of your more generic canned reports, your go-to reports that are kind of preset. And then we have our beta reports, which are really customizable. You can change columns, you can customize filters. So there's a lot of customization that can happen, which is nice because every single business is a little bit different. We're all looking at somewhat of the same KPIs, but maybe in different ways or maybe different kind of viewpoints. So we're able to really customize it to what the business needs. And we put the power in the user's hands with that. But some of my favorite kind of go-to reports are staff performance, looking at average sale for services, average retail sale, pre-booking percentage, new client count, things like that, utilization rate. I love that one. So I can see, okay, what is my staff actually using their time towards? Are they really being utilized? And does that mean if they're overutilization, we need to bring in more staff? And we can also look at that on a device level. So let's say we're looking at our lasers or our hydrofacials. We can actually see how much of those devices are being utilized. And if they're being underutilized, maybe we need to push those services, or if they're above what we want for utilization, maybe it's time to bring in a new device.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that with the devices. I haven't heard of that before. So that's really, usually it's by the room, but I'm seeing more and more spas that are like rolling the hydrofacial machine in, or even the laser, depending on what it is.
Yeah, I come from the cool sculpting world. So when I was a cool sculpting provider, I figured out the way to really become profitable was to dual sculpt, tri sculpt, quad sculpt, basically get as many machines in a room on a customer as once, make their treatment time as short as possible. And so looking at machine utilization was one of the things that I always wanted to do, but wasn't possible with any other platform. So when I saw that with Boulevard, I was like, this is exactly what we need, because they're expensive and we need to know how much we're actually using them.
Yeah, that's great. Very cool.
Yeah. And membership. So we have a really great membership setup. We can support memberships and packages. One of our most commonly asked for memberships is our account credit membership. So kind of like an internal in-house savings account. So every month, $100 going into your in-house savings account. You can use it towards whatever you want. That's a really commonly asked for one. But we have membership reporting to show outstanding liabilities. So how many services have been issued, how much account credit has been issued, what's been redeemed, who's active, who's paused or past due. So really, really robust reporting there. We also have reportings to show membership and package upsells. So when someone comes in for a service, did we upsell them a membership or a package? Because that can be a KPI we're looking at for our service providers.
What about churn rate and lifetime customer value specifically of a member?
Yeah. So So we have a couple different metrics that we look at. So we actually have in our client profile kind of a dashboard overview, and that shows some stats similar to that. So it'll show their average revisit, their average value spend, their average show rate. So are they coming on time? Are they late canceling or no showing? So that'll kind of show like that average lifetime spend, but also broken down onto an average visit value. And then for members, we have a couple different reports we can pull, not one exactly for churn, but I love that idea. And I'm going to take that back to the team because I'm like, that's beautiful. But we can get pretty granular as far as like who's active, who's canceled, how long have they been on the membership, things like that.
So I'll give you one more little suggestion of something I always want to see. So selfishly, this is something I always want to see. With membership, also having a way to track client journey. So we're teaching our students like, all right, when they first join the membership, what do they get? What's our touch point at month 2, month 3, month 4? So you're really having consistency in outreach with each of the clients. So if there's a way that you can track that, and especially if it's a 6-month commitment, that, there's a big drop off after that. What can we do at month 5? Can we give them a complimentary upgrade when they come in? Can we do, so if there was a way to kind of input what your specific client journey is, knowing what the average churn rate is, how can we love on those people and make them feel seen, heard, valued when they come back in?
Yeah, I love that. That's an amazing idea. I think that's something that can get lost in a lot of what we do is the client journey from point A of like obtaining that client to point B of them. Okay, they're a customer, they come in every so often, but how are we really making them feel VIP or special, especially with our members? I mean, that's key.
Yeah, very good. Anything else I'm not asking about Boulevard that you think is important for someone researching to know?
I think that the key thing that I would call out, and I didn't know this when I was a MedSpa manager, I wasn't super comfortable with the payment facilitation aspect of things, but making sure that you're working with a platform that has an integrated payment facilitator, it reduces so many headaches. I've tried it both ways. I've tried one where I use a third-party payment facilitator that's not integrated with my scheduling or my bookkeeping software. And there's just too much reconciliation. It takes too much time out of the day. So find something that's as integrated as possible just to alleviate the tasks that you're going to have to do so you can focus on the client journey and on the client experience. And I think that's really overall Boulevard. What we're trying to do is allow our customers to spend time where it really matters and what they're passionate about.
I love that. Very good. All right. So we're going to include your links, but are you guys website, social media? Give us some direction there.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. It's Join BLVD, and our website is the same, so blvd.com. We have a lot of really good social posts. We do a lot in the community, so there's a lot of helpful tips for anyone getting started, whether you're just starting out or maybe you have a med spa that's mid-sized. So definitely check us out. Look at our blog posts. There's a lot of good resources on there, and then that's us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was so great to learn about Boulevard and to hear your expertise. I'm so glad that they have a person like you at the company. That's wonderful. And for those of you listening, if you want to keep the conversation going, be sure to head on over to the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group, and we'll catch you on the next episode.